crime has been a very big topic in the news lately. Read the papers over the weekend, or read the papers today. There's a lot of talk about crime increases in the city and increases in violence throughout the city. All right, so just to give you a brief overview about where the 88th precinct stands. Year to date, we're up 3 crimes versus last year for the same period. That's we have 259 crimes this year versus 456 crimes last year. It equates to a 1.2% increase in crime. The categories we're up in is grand larcenies. We're up 3 grand larcenies for a 2.8% increase, and we're up 17.6% in robberies, 60 versus 51, so 9 robbery complaints versus last year. Now, what does that mean? Basically, like I told you last month at last month's meeting, we started the year off this year having a tough time in robberies. Our first 5 weeks of the year, we saw dramatic increases in robberies versus the first 5 years of 2009. Since then, like I mentioned at last meeting, we made some arrests of individuals that we felt were committing a lot of robberies. So sometimes you have just a small amount of individuals committing a large amount of crime, and we believe that's what it was. And with the help of the district attorney's office, we were able to make some arrests and put some people in jail, and since we've been doing very well with robberies. Violence was something I talked about last month at last meeting, particularly in and around the East Seoul housing development. We had 4 shootings there this year versus none this time last year. We had a couple of arrests in that, we were successful in that, and so far the violence has quelled since the last time we met in April. I know Police Commissioner Kelly was quoted in the paper today speaking about some of the increases in crime. I think one of the things that's important to remember, when we're looking at the crime numbers and we're talking about increases and decreases, we're talking about as compared to last year. Now, citywide and in the 88th precinct, we both had a reduction of 10% in overall crime in 2009 versus 2008. So I think everybody would agree that 2009 was a very successful year with an increase of 10% in overall crime. The problem with that is, come this year, in order for us to be successful and have continued declines in crime, we have to beat our crime numbers from last year, which were already down 10% from the year before, which was down 3% from the year before that. All right, so it's getting increasingly difficult to try to continue to just drop the crime. However, we're doing everything we can to make sure that the crime continues going in that downward direction.
What constitutes a crime?
All right. For the benefit of somebody who hasn't been here and heard me speak about this before, crimes are we have 7 major crimes that we capture. All right. It's murder, rape, robbery, felony assault, burglary, grand larceny, and grand larceny of order. Those are we refer to them as the 7 major crime categories. All right. These have been set by the FBI nationwide, so everybody is in compliance. That these are the categories that we look at, and the rules and regulations are the same for classifying instances in one of those categories. So this way, nationwide, the FBI can look and they can declare that, for instance, we've heard New York City is the safest big city in America, things like that. This way, everybody's calculating crimes exactly the same. Well, there's 7 major crime categories, as I mentioned earlier. And the way we would deal with shooting incidents or violence, like the gentleman over there mentioned earlier, like in and around the East Seoul housing development, would be different than the way we deal with burglaries, for instance. It's a different type of crime. Robberies are different than stolen vehicles. And every crime we have a different strategy to deal with. For instance, if it's burglaries, if that's the problem, then we're going to take no matter what crime it is, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to closely analyze to see when the crime is occurring, how it's being committed, who's committing it. If we know, if we have descriptions of perpetrators or locations where things are happening, we're going to take a very close look and analyze the crime in order to come up with a plan, and then we're going to deploy our resources accordingly.
My name is Rosalind Williams. I'm the technical sole supervisor over in Walt Whitman Houses, and my issue is our park. And I'm complaining about the dogs off the leash between the hours of 9 a.m. in the morning to 9 p.m. in the evening. Because nobody's enforcing this law. A pit bull, as I was walking my dog, and we saw the dog come in with his owner off chain. So I let the dog pass me by and him pass, and out of my sight. Me and my dog crossed over for the dog to go to the bathroom. We were still standing. Next thing I know, here comes the pit bull. Thank God my dog was no problem. She's female, because she fought her own. When he came up on me, he apologized. But my point to him was, he said, well, I was cleaning up behind my dog. I said, I cleaned up behind my dog. but my dog is on a chain. People are jogging with their dogs running behind them or in front of them or whatever. How do you know what your dog is doing back here if you're jogging all the way over there? I'm not knocking you jogging, but maybe you need to leave the dog home.
Hi, ma'am. It's something we'll take a look at. My lieutenant just informed me that he's been working with the Parks Department for that because they've been getting some complaints about it too. So we'll be out there with the Parks Department, hopefully doing some enforcement on it. The thing with that is sometimes it's a double-edged sword because we'll have a room like this, and half the people like to walk their dogs, and half without a leash, and half the people complain about it. And what we do is, when we go out there and do enforcement for something like that, we have to apply that enforcement totally.
Everybody.
Right. So the person who walks in the pool without a leash is going to have to get a summons just like the person with a vehicle.
My name is Greene. I hope everyone can hear me. I live on the intersection of Deep House and Washington Avenue. And what that intersection has turned into is a market. Maybe some of you who are near that area know that people not just come with maybe 5 shirts to sell. I mean, there's 30 shirts, tables, rolling glass, shoes, sunglasses, and they set up right on my property. Here I live in condominium. And the problem is, on Good Friday, it happened twice in April already, when I went out to speak to this woman about setting up things on my front gate, my street, everywhere. She actually got irate. She got so nasty that I had to call the police, and they came, and they gave her a summons, and they asked her to move. But it's an ongoing problem.
That's what we need to know about. And let me just explain to you where our predicament is with that.
Okay.
Last summer, if anybody here that's been coming for a while, remember, I had a concern with a lot of the sidewalk sales that were going on Clinton Avenue and around the neighborhood, because what I was seeing was the flea market going on down on Lafayette, by Bishop Lockman, and a lot of people, to take advantage of the customers of the flea market, were avoiding paying the fee to be part of the flea market, but they were setting up on property.
Exactly.
But at the same time, people were having their own like garage sales, type sales, scoop sales on Clinton Avenue, and they were entitled to do that. So the predicament we're in is we don't know if it's you that's having the sale in front of your house or somebody setting up property in front of your house. So you need to do what you did. Call police. That's what I would recommend. Call us. Let us know that this is my property and that's not my stuff. I don't know who people are. I don't want them selling my property. And then we'll be glad to take care of it and write a summons to the people. Just call, and you can see my special operations lieutenant afterwards. My community affairs officer. And if it's an ongoing problem, we want to know about it. This way we know, you can tell us, we never have a scoop sale. But we have him here now. His name is Officer Dang. And I'll just give you a little information. He's part of our anti-crime team in the 88th Precinct. Anti-crime teams are the ones that go out and address the street violence. They're in plainclothes, unmarked cars. This incident happened on January 6th. Officer Dang, while driving with another officer and a supervisor, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, near the corner of Fulton and Fort Greene Place. They observe a fight going on. 3 individuals seem to be in the middle of a fight. They stop to address the fight to see what's going on. 2 individuals stop there. When they see them coming over, identifying them as the police. One turns around and starts running. The individual that started to run was apprehended by Police Officer Dang, and a loaded gun was recovered from the individual. All right, so now we know why he ran. All right, they went back to the original scene, and not only did he arrest that individual and get a loaded gun off the street, but the 2 individuals that were there fighting, they did some inquiry into them. One of them had a felony weight crack on him, and the other one had marijuana on him. So all 3 of them went in handcuffs. They were all arrested, and Officer Dang and his partners did a fantastic job that day by removing a gun off the streets, taking it to the safety zone.
All right, so without further ado, Officer Dang, on behalf of the Community Council, the Youth Council, the Explorers, and my boss, it would be my honor to read the following. In sincere appreciation for your outstanding public service, professionalism, dedication, and loyal service to the 88th Precinct community, we proudly present this memento to Police Officer Kadang, Shield Number 5202, and it's signed Delia Hunley-Adoza, President, 88th Precinct Council and Youth Executive Director, Deputy Inspector Anthony Tasso, 88th Precinct Commanding Officer, and because of the delay, ladies and gentlemen, has the date of Tuesday, February 16, 2010. Thank you so much.